Okay, last lesson. Lesson number 5 is cosine law. Again, some of you may have done this last year already. Some of you may be new. We use this for acute triangles. Again, triangles without the 90-degree angle. You can use it for 90 degrees. But if we have acute triangle, the only option is sine law or cosine law because SOHCAHTOA does not work for non-right angle triangles. So here's our cosine law. We have a squared. It's a little bit harder, but you don't have to memorize it. You get to use your notes. So a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a. Now that's a lot. There's b squared equals a squared plus c squared, and then c squared equals a squared plus b squared. You don't have to write all those out. You only really need to know how to write one of them and then use it and change it up based on the side that you're looking for. So we have a squared, that's whatever side we are trying to find. A squared equals the other two sides, so the two known sides squared and added together, minus 2 times those two sides, notice those are the same variables, then times cos A. And these two variables are always matching. So side A and angle A. If I was trying to find side Z, then I would need to know angle Z. If it was a y squared equals, then it should at the end say cos capital Y, angle Y. Okay, so when do we actually use this? It's when we have non-right angle triangles, when you're given all 3 sides of a triangle and trying to find a missing angle, or you're given something called a contained angle. So a contained angle is when you have like a side and the angle in between the two sides. So we know this side, and we're trying to find that angle there. Sorry, we know that angle in between the two. If we do not have all 3 sides given, or an angle given in between 2 known sides called a contained angle, then we would use sine law. Right? If we do have all 3 sides, or we do have a contained angle, we use the cosine law. So let's see how we can actually fill this in and use it with some numbers. Find the unknown side to the nearest tenth. So here's a triangle. I only know 2 sides. I don't know all 3 sides, but I do have a contained angle here. So I know the side, I know this side, and I know the angle in between. Contained angle, I'm going to use the cosine law. And it's asking me to find side B. So I'm going to say b squared equals, and it's the other 2 sides that are known, squared and added together. So you don't even have to worry about the variables. Just fill in the numbers there. Minus 2 times those 2 given sides times cos, the angle matching our variable at the front. So our matching angle is angle B, which is 52 degrees. And then we have to practice putting this in our calculator. Okay? So 16 squared is 256. 20 squared, 400, minus 2 times 16 times 20 is 640 cos 52. You could put it all on your calculator at once. I'm breaking it down so you can see exactly what I'm multiplying here. Now I'm going to write 256 plus 400 minus, and I'm going to bracket 640 times cos 52 because I want to do the multiplication first because of BEDMAS. So that's why I need to add brackets here when I'm putting it in my calculator. And I get 261, decimal 9, 7, 6, 6, 5, 5, 8. Okay, that's what my calculator is giving me. Now I'm not done because it says b squared equals. And I don't want b squared, I want just b. So I'm going to take the square root of this, and I just leave it in my calculator, sitting there, until I can press the square root button. So I have to do second function x squared to get my square root and press equals, and it should just copy that number into your calculator for you so you don't have to retype it out. So I got 16.2 centimeters. Again, try it in your calculator. You get to use your notes, so you should have this equation written down when you do your summative. You need to know how to plug in the numbers, and then make sure you know how to put it into the calculator. Let's try example 2. Solve for y. Okay, again, I am given a contained angle, a given angle in between two given sides. So I'm gonna find my y. Y squared equals the other two sides squared and added together, minus 2 times those two sides times cos my angle that is opposite to the side I am trying to find, which is y, so cos 50. Then we can do the squareds, or you can put it all in your calculator at once. We're going to multiply 2 times 9 times 8, cos times cos 50. If you're having trouble in your calculator, you could even take another step and do 108 times cos 50. And you get it, it's just harder because it gets a long decimal. Something like that. And let's add them together. And you should get 47.578938115. I want y, not y squared, so we are going to square root it. Remember, we're not going to do plus or minus because we're looking at a side length, so we just want the positive answer. And I get approximately 6.9 meters. And last one, we're going to solve again, so it's going to be a bit longer. Triangle DEF, again, draw a triangle, does not matter if it's to scale. D, E, and F. Side D is 4.9 centimeters, so across from my angle D. Side F is 6.2 centimeters, across from my angle F. And angle E is 64 degrees. We want to solve DEF. Remember, solve means find all the missing sides, all the missing angles. So I am given a contained angle. Cosine law works when you have the opposite side and angle you're trying to find here. So I need to find side E using cosine law first. So it's the other two sides squared and added together, minus 2 times those two side lengths times cos the opposite angle, which is 64 degrees. Put in my calculator here, 38.44. 0.9 squared is 24.01. 2 times 6.2 times 4.9, 60.76 cos 64. And I'm going to do 38.44 plus 24.01 minus bracket 60.76 times cos 64, close my bracket. Again, keep it in your calculator so you don't have to retype it. I'm just writing it out. It's just sitting there waiting for me to press square root. Let's square root it now, and it equals 5.98. So we'll round it to approximately 6 centimeters. Just gotta move this up a bit. There we go. So I'm going to call that step 1 because I don't have to solve. I'm not done. So I now have side E, side F, and side D. But I don't have angle D or angle F. Let's go over here. For 2, I need some more space. Okay, now I need to find one of the angles. So I'm actually going to use sine law now. I know sine E and side E. So I'm going to find angle F, and I just picked F. You could have picked D if you wanted. And I know E is now 6. Cross multiply 6 times sine F equals 6.2 times sine 64. We are going to divide by 6 to bring it over to the other side. And make sure we take the inverse of sine because we're finding an angle. Put in my calculator here, 6.2 times sine 64, divide by 6, second function sine. I get approximately 68 degrees. F, I'm still not done. I need one more angle. I want the least amount of work, and that was angle D. So I'm going to do the 180 minus the other 2 angles. So we have 64 degrees minus 68 degrees. Let's see what we get. 180 minus 64 minus 68, 48 degrees. You could use the sine law again if you wanted to. It's just a little more work. Okay, practice this cosine law. Textbook questions. It's on your course outline, your unit outline. And once again, please send me emails if you're having any problems. And if we need to do a Google Meet later, we can do a Google Meet. And tomorrow, when we start class, you can come with all your questions and we'll go over anything you guys didn't understand before you have your summative.